Morning.
Morning, Jim. So we should have Todd Crawford on with us. Todd?
I am here. I am here. How are you, Thaddeus?
Great. Good morning. All right. So we want to get started right on time today. Good morning, everyone. It is April 9th, and we've got a packed 15 minutes. First, the big news is that just after we ended our bar talk yesterday, the notarization order was signed by Governor Mills. It has most of the things that we wanted in it and a little bit more. So again, this was a compromise between the governor's office, the Secretary of State, and the Judiciary Committee. And thanks to everyone that helped get this done. So notice that we hit the highlights in this page about what it is that the notarization order does. In particular, you'll notice that all people, the person doing the notarization, the signatory, and the witnesses have to be in the state of Maine in order to get it done. You'll also notice that you have to record and save that recording for 5 years when you do it via video. And there's all sorts of other neat things packed into that order, so please give it a review. Next, I asked Todd Crawford to give us sort of a synopsis about what's happening in the court system related to those that are on the very edge of addiction and, of course, in the criminal system. And Todd, are you there? There. Go right ahead.
I am, but I seem to be feeling it technology today.
You're doing fine.
All right.
Just so everyone, yeah, I can hear you. Just so everyone knows, okay. Todd Crawford is a defense attorney that works in the veteran and drug courts for defendants. And go ahead, Todd.
All right, no problem. So I'll try to be brief, but give you an introduction first to the courts, and then what it is we're trying to do to deal and cope with our operations under this strange restricted environment. So in case you don't know, Maine specialty courts, there are several different kinds. There's the adult drug treatment courts, veteran treatment courts, the co-occurring disorder court, and the family recovery court. And there's not many. Most of the specialty courts are the adult drug treatment courts. There are 6. Only 2 of the veteran treatment courts, although there's more being developed right now in different counties. And each court consists of a team of professionals, a judge, a prosecutor, defense attorney, somebody for case management, whether it's Maine pretrial or Catholic Charities, DOC, probation, and whatever the treatment providers are, whether it's the VA for the veterans or we use Blue Willow in Cumberland County. But there are others in different areas. And the teams meet weekly to discuss each and every of the defendants or participants. And we talk almost every day, it is every day, by email or phone, also about what their needs are and what we can do for them, or what some of the problem areas are and what we can do about that. So the elements of the courts are judicial monitoring, case management, supervision, and of course treatment, specialty treatment. And the goals, of course, are to reduce dependency and recidivism, increase community safety, and to help them develop positive pro-social, family, and personal skills.
Right. Now, Todd, the goal is to keep them out of the jail, right?
Well, that's the recidivism part, decreasing recidivism. That's only part of it, though, because these are problem-solving courts, and the goal is to give people tools to. We're combating the problem right at the heart, not the effects. All right, we're not just putting people in jail for the crimes they commit. We're helping to treat them for the problems that they have so that we have a safer community and better citizens.
Right. So, Todd, how are we keeping our community safe right now with the COVID-19 essentially affecting the ability for people to have face-to-face contact with people?
2 words: creativity and innovation. Pretty much. So we're trying to maintain health, safety, and welfare of everybody. And on the case management side and supervision side, they're doing things like drive-by. They'll drive by or go on the sidewalk and stand and wave at the person, or just talk to them from the porch and the car, or the porch and the sidewalk, or they'll use video, Zoom or Facebook or whatever they have, and they might have the person do a walkthrough of the home, make sure they're actually really at home if they're supposed to be, or who's there, or what's around. But it's pretty much all remote contact and supervision. DOC's got their marching orders that they have to do everything remotely as possible too.
Good. So the probation officers are doing those types of things, and Maine pretrial services?
Yes, both of them. And they're all doing video, phone, email, text, whatever they can for virtual office visits, or like I said, the sidewalk or drive-bys, making sure people are where they need to be. So then the question comes into, well, let me say this too. So there's been a movement to get as many people out of the jails as they can, people who might be there for minor reasons, or they're just finishing up their sentences. Maine pretrial has now gone from pretty much a steady 1,000 supervision contracts to about 1,300. So they are beefing themselves up and finding ways to manage all this, and they seem to be doing pretty well. So then it all begs the question of accountability, and what do you do for accountability? Incarceration is not the answer right now, and nor really is it for these specialty courts. This is criminal justice reform, is what it is. So that's, incarceration comes into play for violations of big public safety concerns.
And thank you, Todd. We're pretty much out of time and what I had allotted for you. Is there any alibi you want to give us before we go to the next item on our agenda?
No, that was it. Technology, using technology. And I'll just say one last thing, and this is a quote from Dave Hulls, and that is, in the rush to return to normal, use this time to consider which parts of normal are worth rushing back to. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Todd. All right, business side of updates. Everyone, if you haven't heard, Chief Justice Softly is stepping down effective April 14th. She's going to be the new dean of the Maine Law School. And I think that's going to be an exciting chapter for the Maine Law School in the state of Maine. We need strong leadership there to, I think, pull the whole legal community together. There's so many opportunities available. Angela, were there anything that you wanted to bring us up to date on?
Yes, thank you. We've posted the, as Thad said, the new notarization executive order on our website. There have been a few other updates. We've made a whole Bar Talk page that will allow you to visit any of the previous Bar Talks, the agendas, or any of the chat sessions that may have applied at that time. Just before this call, we got an email from Amy Quinlan about new entry screening procedures at the courts. And I'm going to let Julie Finn jump in here and give us a quick update on that.
Hi, Angela. Thank you. Yes.
I'm totally on board with that. So let me
we
tweak
just
this
got
and,
that out to you.
we've actually got to go to the office today.
So it's different than what we've been doing before, in that every person entering a courthouse, and this includes lawyers and lawyers with swipe cards, which I think is a lot of lawyers these days, are going to be asked 5 questions. And this is on the advice of the CDC, of course. And they're questions about whether or not you've had COVID-like symptoms, whether you live with someone who's had COVID-like symptoms, if you've traveled abroad recently, if you live with someone who's traveled abroad, or if you've been asked to self-quarantine by a medical provider. Those are the nature of the questions. There are 5 of them. And I want to make clear that if you answer yes to any of those questions, it does not mean that you can't go in. It just means that some follow-up questions will be asked by the marshals. So to the extent everyone on this call knows about that, I think that's helpful.
Right.
And if you can get the word out, the marshals are just
My wife is on a conference call.
doing their
Sorry.
job. And we're just trying to comply with CDC guidance on this stuff, not intending to create a burdensome situation, but these are measures that we feel have to be taken. And so to the extent you can get the word out about that for lawyers who are going to the courthouse, that would be helpful.
And they are posted on our website already.
Great, thank you. And they'll be posted on the door of the buildings as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Also, I'd like to ask, I think Jim had something to share with us about changes related to Portland.
Yes, thanks, Thad, and good morning, everyone. I wanted to chime in because actually just a few minutes before this call, one of my city councilors in Portland happened to reach out to me about the city of Portland's essential business proclamation, and the governor for the state of Maine issued an essential business proclamation that says legal services are essential. City of Portland has a more restrictive definition of legal services. They are essential if they address a mandated activity. The way the city ordinance is aimed, it allows for a facility that provides a non-essential service must close, even if it's not public facing. So on Monday next week, the council is going to be considering a few potential modifications and possibly extending their proclamation out beyond the April 27th date. I raise it because if there are lawyers in the city of Portland who have to go into the office to perform a legal service that is not a mandated activity, the city's ordinance technically prohibits that. You can go into the office to work on something essential. You can go into the office to complete payroll and pick up the mail, but you can't be in your office and work on those non-essential services. So I just bring that to the attention of the group.
Thank you very much, Jim Cohen. Jim, just confirm too, are you also the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Portland?
I am president of the Portland Community Chamber, yes.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Angela, I want to turn it back to you. I know that I think we also updated our website with an upload of the Aroostook County probate order also. Is that right?
That is correct, yeah.
Was there anything else before we go to the next phase?
No, nothing specific, and I know we're getting short on time right now.
Right. Okay. So on the personal side of things, as far as journaling and my gratitude, I mentioned that I was trying to look at this daily. For today, it was thinking of our government workers, in particular, our state government workers, those that are manning the unemployment part of our government, the Secretary of State's office continuing to go forward, and of course the office of the governor. We're still working on some questions that have been forwarded to us, including board hearings and exercise. Today was the first time this year in 2020 I got out and did a bike ride compared to, of course, the biking I did last year. So it was good to get exercise done this morning. I understand Angela did too this morning. So exercise, it's good. Any questions, alibis that we can address before we close for the update from the CDC? We've got a minute. I'll just mention a couple things then, and unless we get some questions. We are going to have the Board of Overseers Bar Council on tomorrow for our 15-minute segment, and we are going to. I got confirmation from Justice Mead's office that he's going to visit us next week too. He is going to be, because he's the senior law court judge, he's going to be the interim chief until they find a permanent one, I guess. Let's see. Any alibis? Seeing none. Everyone have a great day, and thank you for all those that contributed to our bar talk today. And we'll see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock.
Thanks. See ya.
Thanks.